reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, chapter 4, chapter 31. Narada and Krishna. Sloka number 12. Kimva yogena sankena Vyasa smadhyamayorati Kimva yogena What is the use? Swa or yogena by mystic yoga practice. Sankhya by the study of Sankhya philosophy. Nyasa by accepting sannyas. Svadhyaya and by study of Vedic literature. Api, even, him, what is the use? Swa or Preyo by auspicious activity. Anyaki, other, sure, and no, never, yatra, where, atma-pradaha, full satisfaction of self, Hariki, the Supreme Personality. Translation for told by Translation. Transcendental practices that do not ultimately help one realize the Supreme Personality of Godhead are useless, be they mystic yoga practice, the analytical study of matter, severe austerity, the acceptance of sannyas, or the study of Vedic literature. All these may be very important aspects. All these may be very important aspects of spiritual advancement, But unless one understands the Supreme Personality of God and Hari, all these processes are useless. So, in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Bhakti Leela 24:109, it said, Bhakti Vina Kevala Jnana Mukti Nahi Kaya, Bhakti Sadhana Kare E Prapta Brahmala. Impersonalists do not take to devotional service, but take to other practices such as analytical study of material elements, the discrimination between matter and spirit, and mystic yoga. These are beneficial only insofar as they are complementary to devotional service. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu therefore told Sanatana Goswami that without a touch of devotional service, Jnana, Yoga, and Sankhya philosophy cannot give one desired. The impersonalists wish to merge into the Supreme Brahman. However, merging into the Supreme Brahman also requires a touch of devotional service. The absolute truth is realized in three phases: impersonal Brahman, Paramatma, and the Supreme Personality of God. All these require a touch of devotional service. Sometimes it is actually seen that these Mayavadis also chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, although their motive is to merge into the Brahman effulgence. The yogis also at times take to chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, but their purpose is different from that of Bhakta. In all processes, karma, jnana, or yoga, bhakti is required. That is the purpose of Bhakti. Om Jnana Tinaranga Jnana Jnana Chaturanga Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupaha Tadami Nandadati Svapadam Vandeham Shri Guroho Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Shri Rupam Sagrajata Sadagana Raghunath Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sapitam Shri Chaitanya Shri Radha Krishna Pada Sadagana Dalita Shri Radha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Dando Jagapati Gopesha Gopika Kantarada Kantarada Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrinda Sabano Devi Matu Vanta Kalparu Krishna Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasa Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama. So here we see in this particular sloka, mentioned about this, how the various processes of self-realization is there, and all of them require the support of bhakti. And without performing bhakti, one cannot become completely satisfied. So there is this set of nice set of slokas from the first and the second chapter of Bhagavatam. We see that after offering Sukadeva Goswami, after offering respects to his spiritual master, and then auspicious invocation, he is actually thanking the speakers, and he mentions the first thing that he mentions about is that only questions of this sort are capable of completely satisfying the self, because the sages over there, so they were asking about the complete satisfaction, or they were asking about the who is the Supreme and whom should we remember at the point of death, and all these things. It was very nice set of questions that is asked. And then here we see that the first sloka, after thanking and after appreciating the audience, the first thing that Sukadeva Goswami mentions is Savai Pumsam Paro Dharmo Kuto Bhakti Radho Kute So if we have to be completely satisfied, so then the only way is that we need to have an unreserved, devotional service, to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, so which is unstopped, which doesn't have any breakage and which doesn't have any other ulterior motives. So if that is there, so then only it can, completely satisfy the self. So what are the ulterior motives? ulterior motives are, like the bhukti, mukti, and siddhi. These are all the ulterior motives. So, having desiring for material sense gratification, desiring for liberation, or desiring for any siddhis or things like that. So when these things are not there, so then a person becomes completely satisfied. So na yatra atma prado hari. So like yatra atma prado, atma prada means full satisfaction of the self. So somebody has to be completely satisfied. So he has to be freed from all other conceptions, and he has to become fully absorbed in the devotional service of the Lord. And here we see that even if other processes, if they have to get some success, they need to have the touch of bhakti. Without touch of bhakti, they cannot get, they don't have the power and attend the phone. So, like, they don't have individual strength, to even perfect themselves, what to speak of offering, complete satisfaction. So, like we see that, one classic example in Srimad Bhagavatam is the Vyasadeva, who is the author of all the yoga systems. So he has mentioned Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, and all the yoga systems he has very nicely mentioned. But finally, after that, he himself became dissatisfied. The author himself got frustrated. So we can understand the nature of the subject matter. So other practitioners, they cannot get. This is the highest thing that anybody can get. So after performing all that, highest thing is what frustration. So like that is what they can get. So only for bhakti, there is this aspect of complete satisfaction is there. So then somebody may ask, like, there is some bit of satisfaction that is there in other processes. So it is because of touch of bhakti. So it is not because of its own self. So just like we see this particular aspect, that happiness or bliss, the bliss, condensed form of bliss and only source of bliss is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, or the lotus feet of the Lord. So then, somebody may argue, even in the material things, there are some bit of bliss, that is there. So what is this bliss all about? It is nothing but a fraction of the experience of the Supreme Lord. So, but it is so like meager in experience, so it cannot satisfy the self. So for us to get complete satisfaction, so we need to have, it is just like, everybody likes sweet, but if the sweet is mixed with a little bit of sand and a little bit of chili and things like that, so still we'll get the taste of sweetness, but it will not satisfy. We'll say like no proper sweet, like without any mixture. So then we'll get satisfied. So getting some sweetness in between some chili, in between some mud particles is not a fun actually. So the sweet can be relished only if the sweet is exclusive. So in the same way, the devotional service to the Supreme Lord or the sweetness of the Supreme Lord can be relished only if it is free from karma, jnana, and yoga, right? So otherwise it cannot be relished completely. So then here in this progression, it is very nice. So Shukadeva Goswami actually establishes that to become completely satisfied, so one has to without any reservation. So one has to perform devotional service to the Supreme Lord Adokshaja. And then he mentions about that by rendering this devotional service, so knowledge and detachment automatically comes. So whatever is needed, so everything can be achieved only by discharging devotional service to the Lord without any support of anything else. So we can achieve everything. And then it is mentioned about this, the occupational activities of the man should be performed for getting the attraction towards the lotus feet of the Lord. So if any occupation that we do, so we may glorify saying that, okay, this occupation is very nice. This has so many wonderful aspects are there. So we can, we should perform this occupation, that occupation. So Bhagavatam says, okay, fine, like you have the freedom of choice, you can choose any occupation. But what is the goal? The goal is that you should develop attraction to the lotus feet. If that is not happening, so then all your occupation, all your labor is just, it is just a useless endeavor only. It is just it mentioned. And then, like Shukadeva Goswami tells that all this occupational engagement should be, oriented towards liberation. So everything that we do, like now previously, the jobs when it was created, It was oriented towards engagement to people. So then later on, it is oriented towards profit. You know? So now profit-centric businesses are there. The profit is not there, like within hours notice, you can be sent out of. You know? So there is no question of like recently or you know, one of the devotees was telling that in his company there is this one cost cutting happened, and then overnight 200 employees were no 200 like almost like 20% employees were sacked. So it is because the orientation is what profit, and for some people orientation is philanthropic activities. The orientation is people in general, and here we see that the Bhagavatam advises that the orientation of all our activities should be aiming towards liberation, aiming towards attaining that attraction to the lotus feet of Allah. If that is not happening, so this is this one like parameter. So like in every time business organizations, they have meetings, and what do they talk about? They talk about how much we are making profit. So quarter to quarter, how we are improving. It is based on the parameters that we have decided. So based on that parameters only the evaluation. So now if we evaluate our success based on like how many people follow us, or how many like how much of Lakshmi that we are getting, or how much of knowledge that we are getting and stuff like that. So that is not the thing. So the real thing is that we should orient our practice based on are we progressing towards liberation? So for us, the liberation means developing attraction to the lotus feet of the Lord, developing attraction to something. So we see that if that is not happening, so then something is wrong. We are not doing the process properly. So we have to revisit and rethink what we are doing. So then it is mentioned that life's desire should never be directed towards sense gratification. One should desire only a healthy life or self-preservation, and then focus rest of the energy focus on inquiring about the absolute truth, and then developing attraction towards the absolute truth. Right? And then who is this absolute truth? So the learned transcendentalists, they speak about this as Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan, and then one has to develop attraction towards this Bhagavan. So that is the most important activity. So in this way, like he mentions all these things, and then finally this is a very nice this one. So after all these definitions, so he puts it saying, Tasmat ekena manasa Bhagavan sarpatam patihi shtotavya kirtitavyascha deyaha pujaschcha nityada. So therefore, with one pointed attention, one should certainly hear about, glorify, remember, and worship the personality of Godhead, who is the protector of the devotees. So this is something that why we have to study the philosophical subject matter. The philosophical subject matter has to be studied to come to this point that I have to put one pointed attention onto the devotional service, one pointed attention to constantly hear, glorify and remember the Supreme Lord. Right? So this, wherever there is doubt is there, so then the philosophy has to come in. Philosophical understanding has to come in. That if sometimes the mind actually tricks, or the material nature tricks us, to go behind something substandard, so go behind name, fame, followers, or anything else that is substandard, anything else that is different from the Lord. So then we need to put a proper philosophical debate in the mind, or we have to have some good counsel that is this what is important? Is this what I have dedicated my life for? Is this what I'm struggling for? So like why have I shifted from my goal of one pointed attention from attaining the lotus feet of the Lord? So this or if this is if something else apart from the Lord is is seeming to be really very important, so then we have to analyze. So by analysis we will develop detachment. So this is what happens. Analysis of material things will develop detachment because it is very obnoxious, and analysis of the Supreme Lord will develop attachment because he is very amazing actually. So in this way, this analysis helps a lot, in terms of developing detachment and developing attachment. So positive, proper analysis should be there. So and then the whole this one whole set of slokas about the progression of devotional service starts. This is how the second chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam actually starts. So this second chapter is the answer to the questions that is put forward by the sages. And first of all, we object of meditation is properly established, that is the Supreme Lord. So after establishing the object of meditation, after establishing the prayojana, so then the abhidaya actually comes. So abhidaya is the the process of hearing, and then like constant hearing, and that way all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed. So then becoming established in the sattva guna and then going further. So all these things is very nicely described in the next set of slokas. So now we see that this Bhakti Yoga is the process to attain the Supreme Lord. And this Bhakti Yoga has, recently we have been studying about this particular aspect, that the Bhakti Yoga is not done based on our endeavor. So in the yesterday's purport, so this is a very nice shloka. Nayam Atma Pravachanena Labhyo. So that means we cannot attain that supreme absolute truth by the discussion of the Vedic scriptures. So it is mentioned that Lord has to be the ultimate end of all the Vedic scriptures is to attain the Lord. So Vedesya Sarver Aham Eva Vedya. So but then it is mentioned here that just by studying the Vedic scriptures you cannot attain the Lord. So then na medaya na bhakunashutena. So by erudite scholarship or by hearing so many different scriptures and things like that, we will not be able to attain the Supreme Lord. Yam eva isha brunute tena labhyas tasyaiva atma vibrunute tanum swam. So it is mentioned that only a person who's chosen by that Supreme Lord can understand this, and that also he will himself reveal. So there is no possibility that the Lord, we cannot say that I have made a system of training of devotional service, and if anybody goes through this training process, the Lord has to give his mercy. No, it's not possible. The Lord cannot be subscribed to any training system, or any ritual. So the Lord, it's a very, very important thing. So this devotional service has to be the training system can bring us to this point that we have to surrender to the Supreme Lord and render devotional service to the Supreme Lord. So, but it is, the whole thing is about all our training actually is 50%. The rest of the 50% is there with the Lord actually. So we do our endeavor, and then the mood of expecting the mercy of the Lord is a very, very important thing. Now we can put on the training for this, expecting the mercy of the Lord, and then depending on the mercy of the Lord. So not that by my endeavor or by my this one, so I will be able to attain. So after doing all that we can do, so we should be in a position to say that it is all that I have done is not useful for attaining your lotus feet. It is only by your mercy I'll be able to attain your lotus feet. So that is the perfection of all the education that we have got, all the training that we have got. So this is a very, very important principle. The Lord cannot be controlled, Lord cannot be forced. The Lord will choose whom he has to reveal himself, and then he himself will reveal, and there is no possibility of we forcing him, right? So it is only, the thing is that the sadhana practice that we are doing, it's just an expression that I'm serious about understanding you. I'm serious about having your audience. That's the expression that we have. So, and we the Lord is very merciful. So he sees that endeavor, and then sevam te jivado swayameva spurata. So this is also a process that is there. So by rendering service, in one of the classes, Srila Prabhupada was mentioning that this faith starts from mouth. He was mentioning that. So the faith, how does the faith comes? The faith comes because of the mercy of the Lord, and then this starts from the tongue. So the tongue is that by tasting prasad and by chanting the names of the Lord in the mood of service, as a service to the Lord. So when we do the seva, so then automatically, not automatically, then the Lord chooses to reveal himself. So the Lord becomes pleased and the Lord chooses to reveal himself. So this is the process. The process of devotional service goes like this. So because this is heavily dependent on the mercy of the Lord, so that is why the prayers to the Lord is very important, and that is why the whenever we get some benefit or whenever we get some mercy from the Lord, the expression of gratitude is also very, very important. So without this, the bhakti will not have its life. So it will not, we cannot do the practice of bhakti, proper. So now in today's this one we see that it talks about how the impersonalist and the yogis, they take shelter of bhakti to attain their goal. So impersonalists, they do not take up the devotional service, but they take to other processes such as analytical study and things like that. And here Prabhupada is mentioning, so this other processes of study of the Vedas and also the like mystic yoga practice. So it is only helpful till the point it is complementary to devotional service. So they themselves cannot be a process. They themselves cannot be a process which can give us success. Like people practice these particular streams for many, many lifetimes. And then they probably like come somewhere closer. So, but then they require the touch of Bhakti Yoga to attain their goal. So, but they themselves cannot be the process of attaining the Supreme Lord. And then, so here it's mentioned about like how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told to Sanatana Goswami that without touch of devotional service, Jnana, Yoga, and Sankhya cannot give this desired result. So today is also Sanatana Goswami's disappearance day and Vyasadev's appearance day. Right? So we asked to like go to him. So it is good, like we are studying Vyasadev's composition and we are studying about Sanatana Goswami also. So we see these great devotees. They had like all the aspects of all that like is needed. Basically, like the goal of the what is it? Impersonalist this one path, the goal of jnana. So that is the transcendental knowledge. So that they were having, and then like they were liberated souls. Like it is mentioned that iha shahare dashu karmana manasajana. So like even so they were liberated. Sanatana Goswami was a liberated personality. So because of practice of devotion. So goal of jnana is attained. And then they had all the siddhis that are necessary, because whatever they want, the Yogeshwara himself will come and execute. That is their power of this one. So they had all the siddhis. And then they had the devotion to the Supreme Lord. And they are such an exalted personality that when like the Supreme Lord himself comes to take their association. In fact, it is mentioned about Sanatana Goswami that it is mentioned that you follow all the this one etiquettes and everything very nicely. So it is not needed for you to follow, but then still you follow it, and that's your ornament. And then because of this, you become so beautiful, and your body is so exalted that even the demigods wish to touch them. So like it is so amazing, the personality of Sanatana Goswami. And we see that they have expressed the highest level of renunciation for all the renunciants. They are the a superhero star. So they are we aspire, or we actually follow in their footsteps. And they have displayed the they have given us the wonderful literatures. By analyzing all the Vedic scriptures, they have given us the essence of all the Vedic scriptures, and also they have given the goal. That is to have the intense attachment to the lotus feet of the Lord, right? So, so here we see that the impersonalists wish to merge in the Supreme Brahman. However, merging into Supreme Brahman also requires a touch of devotional service. And absolute truth, is realized in three different aspects, and like all of them who are aiming at any of those aspects, they also try to chant Hare Krishna mantra. Sometimes they found chanting Hare Krishna mantra. So even though their goal is not strictly, attaining the Bhagavan feature of the Lord, but still, they also take to this process or some form of devotional service, bhakti elements, they actually follow. So it's like the upasana, that the Mayavadis do. So for them, the prescribed method is that, like study of this one, study and analysis of scriptures. But why do they come to this one of upasana? Because they require, some elements of bhakti is required. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam. So they have to do something. So then only they'll be able to get to that point. Hmm. So then the so it is mentioned in all processes, karma, jnana, and yoga, bhakti is required. So without bhakti, no, they cannot have their individual this one. So it is just like bhakti is the life. It gives life for everything. So and bhakti in itself also can stand on its own. So it is mentioned that bhakti doesn't require any other support from any this one. So bhakti is spontaneous, and just like Krishna, Krishna is Swarat. Krishna is like he doesn't have any origin. And in the same way, bhakti also doesn't have any origin in the material things. So if I do punya karma, like if I do some nice karma, so then will I get bhakti? No, it's not possible. So if I perform some nice yogas and things like that, no, will I be able to get bhakti? No. So bhakti I can get only by the pleasure of the Lord. So that is why the Lord actually sends the devotees into the world. So because devotees carry bhakti, and from bhakti the bhakti actually comes. So without devotees coming into this world, there is no chance of anybody performing bhakti. And if there is no devotees nobody is performing bhakti, then there is no chance of Lord also coming. The Lord doesn't come just like in any material environment. So Lord comes only in the spiritual environment. So for that purpose, like for the Lord to come in, so he has to first send devotees. And for people to practice devotional service, he has to send devotees. So because the Lord never gives devotional service to anybody, it's only the devotees who give devotional service to others. So when after that, like when the person practices devotion, so then the Lord actually awards his darshan. So in this way, like for everything, the key aspect we see is that the merciful devotees who actually comes to this world, of course, on the order of the Supreme Lord. So when they come, so they actually spread the practice of devotional service. So otherwise, the devotional service, it doesn't require any support of anyone, and it doesn't have the origin in any of this ones like karma, jnana, and yoga. So the bhakti actually comes from bhakti only, and then it develops also on its own strength, and it is the life of all other couples. So with this, I pause here. Devotional service, because see, what is devotional service is what is been asked by the Lord for us to do, right? So Lord has told Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam Yome Bhaktapaya. Like he mentions that if you offer like a leaf or fruit or water and things like that, with devotion I accept it. And then it is mentioned that when we offer that and when prasadam is there, so we should actually honor the prasadam. So that is also a devotion. So that has been mentioned in the scriptures. So we just try to do that. So then that becomes like our advancement. If you see, there are two kinds of things is there. The senses can be used for sense gratification. The senses can be used for devotion. So if we use the senses, if we eat as we like, so then it becomes no sense gratification. If we eat as how the Lord is asking us to do, so then it becomes devotion. Right? So every process is like that. So it is just like one time my spiritual master was telling this particular example that in the post office they put a chapa, like in this one. So like before independence, so they were putting the chapa of British Raj, and after independence, like the chapa was like Bharat Raj, something like that, So like the staff, whoever were there, they all the same people, and like all the process, everything is same. Only the seal changed. So in the same way, materialism means what? That time also we were eating, and Krishna consciousness means now also we are eating. What is the difference? That time we were eating boga, and now we are eating prasad. So that is an important thing. So like we are taking Krishna prasad. So that is the change. That actually. So that makes it devotional service. And before we were eating for satisfying our tongue, now we are eating for satisfying the Lord. Because the Lord has given this prasad, if I honor this, the Lord will become satisfied. So for that purpose, we should do. So we are always servant of the Lord, and everything that we do is for pleasing Him. So if we remember that and if we honor prasadam, so that becomes devotion. So otherwise, it is somewhere in between. It is prasadam, but still not, tasted for the pleasure of the Lord. Still tasted for my pleasure. So it is not fully material and not fully spiritual, in between somewhere. Any other comments? Right. So whatever activities we do, the question becomes very important to ask ourselves, right? Are we developing taste for devotional service? That will decide if we are doing nice devotional service. This analogy was very nice. We tried to understand the angle of satisfaction. We might get sweetness in other processes, but then we will not get complete satisfaction because it is mishra. Only when it is pure sweet rice, we get taste. So, but what about if we take it and rugby is only the whole world, and whenever we are doing any rugby or anything, we should see like whether I'm able to develop taste for I'm doing the pleasure. Even if we do something also, God may or may not. Yeah. So, basically, it's like if God covers mercy only, then He reduces. For that, basically, the way starts from the mercy of the Lord, and for us, it starts by our tongue, it starts the need of God, our faith in knowledge. By that, I that can be and then bhakti is actually right and bhakti is not dependent on anything. Devotees carry bhakti and only bhakti is not the God will fully come in the physical and If we follow in the practice also not directly involved in what will be the towards our way to so I think it will be the end of to get about daily first me following the body if the devotee comes to you that I shall take you to the thinking that I live the through a year even so even after offering the short processes, the devotee should always maintain the sustainable mood that like I'm doing this, so but still like I'm waiting for the mercy of the Lord. Even towards devotee also, like it is so for us the devotee is not different from the Lord. The Sakshat Aditya Samasya. So like we see the same way towards them also. Like when we follow their instructions. So like if they become pleased and if they offer so their blessings, so then I may become I may be able to access the Lord. So and when we are able to when we are given an access to the Lord, so the moment we think that like oh now I have got him, so then we will lose him immediately. So this one is that the other mood that we were discussing in the shloka of Sudama, that I am such a low person, so I am supposed to get all these things, but it is only by the mercy of devotee and only by the mercy of the Lord. So they are so merciful; they have given me this, so I am not at all qualified. So that humility actually sustains the Lord. The moment we become proud, so the prayer says that definitely we will get the Lord and definitely we will get the Lord. So, but the prayer doesn't say that we will be able to sustain the way we'll get the Lord. So the sustained way to get the Lord is the humility that actually maintains. So somebody may go and say like, no, I've got the Lord, but I lost it. So the prayer is like, no, yeah, the prayer told that no, you'll get the Lord, so you got him. So, but we can lose him also actually. So that is the thing. So that the key aspect is for a long-term sustained way and forever to have the association of the Lord is to feel, is to have these elements that are mentioned. Like these prayers are very, very, essential actually. The essence of like one of the essential this one mood of our this one is that so always having eagerness to attain the mercy of the Lord and feeling at the same time unqualified and also like going through all the miserable conditions and things like that. So it's a very very powerful methodology. So like we have many methodologies to attain the Lord. So like but of all this one, like finally to sustain the Lord, the humility and the feeling of that I will I'm not at all qualified to get this thing, but still the Lord is very merciful. He has given me. I'm very, very grateful to him. Like that. So that mood actually sustains the experience of the Lord.